This is Joe Berg with WSIC. Just wanted to let everybody listening and watching know that we are experiencing some technical difficulties here at the studio. So just hang tight with us while we try to figure that out. Thank you.
All right. Here we are. No matter what happens, we are ready to make things happen and to inspire, to motivate, to entertain, and to pivot. If we learned anything during COVID, it was pivoting. And so while they're figuring out the radio technical difficulties, hopefully you can see us streaming here. And so what I want to talk about is I want to talk about Joe's favorite pastime, and that is cigars. And this cigar is on Joe at Burners Cigar Company in Birkdale or in Denver. They are a host. They are the host of this local biz now. We couldn't appreciate them more. I have a son-in-law who loves his cigars, so I appreciate that Joe picked out a special one just for him for his birthday. So Burners Cigar Company, Birkdale and Denver. Just mention Joe's name and your first cigar is on him. And so now we're going to get back to talking to Jamie about the aspect of addiction and helping those who are either struggling with addiction or those who have loved ones or friends or coworkers that have an addiction that some insights to understand it better. And one thing that really stood out to me in Jamie's book was uh, every single chapter has so much powerful information and insights in it. And one of them is called A Gaping Hole. And I'm going to read this from his book because it's really powerful. You have to feel the hole to fill the hole. It takes awareness and an unveiling of the belligerent denial that is occurring. Feel the hole, fill the hole. Eventually, you can feel whole. Those words are powerful. And talk about the problem that most addicts have with filling those holes.
That's still crazy to me that I wrote a book. I'm sorry.
You sounded pretty
Like
darn
that
good there, didn't
that's
you?
that's pretty good, man.
That's powerful. I remember reading it when I was in the editing. I just loved that statement.
One of the from what I've learned in addicts and alcoholics, both on the bad side and the good side, there's something wrong. There's
Hmm.
something wrong. And that's what I refer to as the whole. There's something missing. There's this chase. There's this desire to pursue.
Hmm.
There's the race that you don't know where the finish line is. You don't even know why you're running. It's
Right.
just trying to obtain, trying to get, trying to outdo. My recovery and my experience I speak of, I needed guidance. I needed
Yes.
help. That's I make that suggestion to people. I can only speak of my experience. You have to go deep into yourself. It's a journey, and there's something that your personality you're not proud of, something that might be haunting you from childhood, an event that happened in elementary school, serious events,
Yeah.
trauma events,
Right.
deaths, surprises, molestations, just crazy. But there's also sometimes you don't know what it is.
Right.
And it's there because the evidence is there because of your present day actions and the way you are and the way you react and the way you prioritize things. And it's another one of those um, so unique about what I call a disease, the malady, the spiritual malady. You might not even need to try to figure out what the whole is.
Right.
It's fill yourself with service, fill it with positivity, fill it with living in the moment.
Fill it with positive options,
Even
right?
like early in recovery and I'm not going to beat around the bush. I went through AA,
Right.
and it's a service, service directed recovery
Right,
program.
right.
And you show up brand new, and nobody, they start telling you what to do.
Right.
Come in 10 minutes early, make coffee, get 5 phone numbers and call these people,
And help them out,
right.
right.
And that on a very, secular level, that's small. You want me to show up and that's your job now. And
Yeah.
if you don't do it, you're going to have 30 of these guys are going to be mad at you, but
Yeah.
it gives you a reason. And especially and this was my problem, was I was a functioning alcoholic. I was
Yes.
a functioning, I had the cool car and the shoes and my bills were paid, and I had, the extra, I was never bankrupt. I
Right.
was spiritually bankrupt, but I had all this fake outer stuff.
Yes.
And that's why I thought I was a little bit better than everybody. But then
Mm.
there are some people that are on the streets, and
Yes.
they don't, and when they come in and they have a job all of a sudden, it's not a paying job, but you need to get here and make coffee.
Right.
You need to get here and set up the room. Like, it gives you a purpose and it gives you a reason. And a lot of times that is what the whole is too. Like, you feel like you don't have a reason.
Right. You don't have any purpose.
And you self-medicate so much that you quit looking for it, and the hole gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, and I really think you nail it. I think part of the reason that you subtitled this From Addiction, Self-Destruction to Purpose is that what you have seen in yourself and what you have seen in others who have finally beat the addiction rap, so to speak, is they found their purpose. They found their purpose. They found their reason for being. I also want you to talk about this one, wanting recovery. Okay, so being afraid of having to give up their evils, vices, and shortcomings before they can be accepted is what is the problem in the first place. So that was from the wanting recovery, and unless somebody wants recovery, they're not going to. They're not ever going to recover.
No,
It
you can't.
really does come back to choice. Nobody can. And and something I learned a long time ago is Al-Anon, which is a supporting side to AA, isn't about helping the addict recover. It's about helping you be able to manage the fact that you have an addict loved one. And it really reinforces that you can't change it, you didn't cause it, and you can't cure their choice of addiction.
Right.
So what would you say to both those who are addicted and those who have somebody addicted when it comes to the wanting recovery? We got about a minute and a half.
Well, the harsh reality, and I've told people this in recovery, in meetings, if you don't want it right now, I mean, please come. The miracle will happen. But if you don't want it, just go back out
Mhm.
and live that life. And I hope you can come back.
Right.
But if you put up that wall and you don't want it, you're not going to get the message.
Right.
You'll always be able to find an excuse. You'll always be able to find a reason to it's self-hate, but
Yeah.
you'll throw that on somebody else because
Right.
of the way they look, because of the difference in the demographics between you and them, and just anything and everything.
Well, and you even say in your book that you were jaming America, right? You had the white picket fence life. So, and I think it's really important. Not every addict is a homeless person.
Right.
Addiction does not have any prejudice or
It
bias.
does not discriminate.
It does not discriminate. And so in the next 30 seconds, what would you say to that?
Whew, that was a hard one for me because I held myself in such high esteem, and being an overachiever in
Yeah.
school and being a self-induced overachiever in my sports, because I put myself
Sure.
in places where I knew I could succeed. It's hard. It's hard.
Mhm.
I can't even answer that in the 10 seconds.
That's okay. That's all right.
We might have to come back on that one.
Okay, let's come back after break. Yeah.
Keep it right here. Local Biz Now with Joe Bagnone will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, it's a story that sounds like it's starting to get old, but it really is the same old, same old. Big time heat and humidity as we kick off a brand new work week. High temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100 for our Monday afternoon. Feels like temperatures up around 105, maybe up to 107. Really dangerous if you're not drinking water, staying hydrated, getting in out of the heat from time to time, and dry as we kick off the work week too. Better rain chances show up as we get toward the end of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. On Thursday, Brookdale Village in Huntersville welcomes Dave Scott Crow's Amusination Academy, an afternoon of imagination, music, and amusement will be on the green at Brookdale Village. Dave's Amusination concert and Pick Me Up Mike are crowd favorites. Come relax and enjoy, or take the stage. It's perfect for the whole family. The fun begins at 4:30 Thursday afternoon, July 18th on the green at Brookdale Village in Huntersville. Langtree Live continues their live music series on Thursday. Alex Key takes the stage at 7 p.m. for this free concert. Event time is 6:30. Bring your chairs early and enjoy the food and beverages that Langtree restaurants have to offer. We'll see you on Thursday evening for Langtree Live's free concert series. Come see the coolest cars, trucks, and motorcycles at Hot Rods and Hops this Friday night at RevFast in Mooresville. This monthly show welcomes all auto enthusiasts with vehicles on display, food trucks, beer from Hoptown Brewing, and the Hot Rod community. Come see old friends and make some new ones on Friday night after 5 at the Late Apex Storage Condos in Mooresville for Hot Rods and Hops. The kids edition of Battle of the Bands takes place Sunday at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville. 6 bands, 2 stages, song versus song, set versus set with 1 champion. Come see the future of the local music scene powered by Waves Entertainment. 4 p.m. Sunday at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville with the kids edition of Battle of the Bands. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway gives you your midweek need for speed. This 10-race series, night number 9, is on Tuesday, July 23rd on the front stretch quarter-mile oval. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Now more Local Biz Now with Joe Bagnone on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Oh, Sherre DeMao. Sherre DeMao, I'm back, and we're back. Jamie Weatherly is with me. Here for Joe Bagnone. This is the #1 business radio show in the Carolinas. Really, really proud and thrilled to be here with Jamie Weatherly. When we took the break, we were talking about the fact that there is no discrimination when it comes to an addict. Comes from all walks of life. You can't put an addict inside one assumed box, and that tends to happen a lot. People assuming that if someone and that's why Jamie's message is so powerful in this book, Unloaded. I'm going to put it up here again. Unloaded. From self-destruction, from addiction, self-destruction to purpose. This is such a powerful book on so many levels. You know, I've structurally edited a lot of books, and I have to tell you, this is the one I am most proud to have been involved in.
Thank you very much.
And so one of the things that leads into the whole aspect of addiction, I think I want to just jump right into that aspect of not putting a person in a box. You know, what are some assumptions you made that you quickly dispelled once you started truly embracing recovery? Because some of your heroes were not what other people would consider heroes, right?
Well,
And I think that's worth having a discussion around.
it goes to what we were saying earlier about this competition,
Sure.
all against the world, even though they're not aware that it's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes time for recovery, you're still judging yourself against these people around you. Like specifically, if you go to a recovery center or meetings or just you find the differences, and I say it's me.
Yeah.
And with the people that I've had experiences with, that if I'm better than this, then I don't need this.
Right.
And I consider myself better than this. I see this person is broken down, and this person is way older than me, and this person is, he's younger than me, but
And so you're
his
not
car
seeing,
ain't as cool as mine.
you're not seeing the similarities. You're not
Yeah.
seeing the fact that everybody has something broken in them.
The
that they have-
similarities
yeah.
of being broken, but then also turn off this scoreboard
Right.
and look at yourself.
Right.
And when you finally are ready to look at yourself, which again, that is up to the individual to be ready to look at themselves.
And look inside themselves.
And that's when the work starts.
Yeah, it totally does. And another powerful aspect of your book that I think many will appreciate and embrace is the whole aspect of once you're in recovery, once you've stopped using, once you've stopped drinking, and what where the light gets shined even more. And one of the things that you said, one of your chapters is called "Replacing, Not Facing." And it speaks to the fact that you realize you just have an addictive personality.
Yes.
You are addicted to not enough. You're addicted to wanting more, everything else. And it says, it took a long time for me to realize I had been living the addict life for a long, long time. So what were some of the things you were addicted to after you stopped using and stopped drinking?
Well, it was even before
Yeah.
I was high school was when all this kind of started.
Sure.
And then up until 2005, that was my high school for me, 94 to 2005. So 11 years of just hardcore going for it.
Right, right.
And another cliche thing, but it's true. I always tell people cliches are true because, they're cliche because they're true. We don't keep repeating it. It's not a drug or alcohol problem. It's a life problem.
Yeah.
And the drugs and alcohol are what we use to deal with the life problem.
Right. Thank
And
you.
sobriety for me in 2005 and a lot of service work with AA and keeping the mind and spirit busy. And then I'm excelling at my job also.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. It's just, it didn't destroy my liver,
Right.
it didn't make me make these bad decisions, but I was alienating myself from my family and I was
You were addicted to your
pushing
work.
myself to the limit, and I would see the positive response and the look sometimes of when the impossible was pulled off. And
Yeah.
it was just like, give me more of that.
That
Give me
rush.
more of that.
And so you kept going to work and you kept not being with your family.
And it used
which,
to be, I couldn't come to your birthday because I was on a 3-day bender. But now I
Right.
can't come to your birthday because I got to go to my job. I got to
Right.
And again, I loved my
gotta
job.
work that
Local
double
business
shift.
here, Red Rocks in Charlotte. I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, that's a great restaurant.
that's
Yeah.
that my personality it was not good for.
Right.
And that's something you have to deal with when you're going through sobriety. It's not just putting the drink down, putting the drugs down. It's look at the way you push your energy. What are you doing? It took a long time for me to get there. And this book was something that
Yeah.
was, not just, it's kind of like that, whatever the opposite of that snake eating itself type of thing. It's something hugging itself.
Right. Right.
This provided me the outlet I needed, but it was also, I believe, like my purpose.
Yes.
And I talk about it. There's Bible quotes about it.
Right.
I've spoken to a group about that. You can find what I'm not trying to get biblical. I'm not fairly educated on that. There's James and Proverbs. I think there's a quote.
Yeah.
I call it my Spider-Man quote.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
And
I
that's
love
what it is. And for 10, 15, 16 years in sobriety, I held on to it.
Right.
And I'm great. I got a family.
Yeah.
I've mended a lot of burnt bridges. I'm allowed back into places that I was banned from,
Right.
like institutions. I'm not talking about bars, like
Institutions.
like
yeah.
educational institutions that took me away. And it's okay for you to come back now. And I've got a family, I've got kids, I'm healthy. But I took all of my experiences and my knowledge and my empathy and everything that I could offer somebody, and I just wasn't sharing it anymore.
Right.
And when I say purpose, like I've been a writer and I was always good with
Yes.
it. And,
Yeah,
and
you're a
this
very
was a
talented
blessing
writer.
for
Yeah.
me. And it things just fall into place. And it was a suggestion from this person, a suggestion from this person, the suggestion that led me to Sparks Publications.
Yeah.
Like it was,
Yeah. Shout out to Sparks
I was
Publications. Fabi
everywhere I
Presler.
needed to be. And if I hadn't found Fabi, it wouldn't have been this book.
Right.
You
right.
know, and that's why I believe so strong in this message, because this message was destined to be heard.
It was.
And it took-
absolutely was.
I fought real hard not to have this message be the thing. And I tried to hold it and I tried to go a different route. And this is what came out. And it's absolutely amazing. It's a clientele you don't want to have.
Right.
It's a clientele that you hope
You'd like to get rid
goes
of.
away.
Yeah, that goes away.
that
Yeah.
everybody that works in recovery centers become unemployed.
Yeah.
it's also a
What a
little
wonderful goal that would be.
double-edged sword that a lot of people that need this book aren't able to get it or aren't buying books right now.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to be able to get it in some libraries, you know,
Right.
where people can, like recovery libraries. I'm working on getting it in some other institutionalized libraries. Um, it's amazing when you start doing what you're supposed to do instead of what you want to do.
Mhm.
And that gets you out of that complacent rut. That gets you out of that self-sabotaging. 'Cause
Right.
sober or not, if you're living selfishly at
Mhm.
your own will, you're what they call a sober drunk.
Mhm.
Like it's not, might as well be using, they say, you know?
Well,
It's,
you have a funny story in your book about how you became addicted to tennis shoes.
no,
You know, and that was just one of many. You became addicted to trying to fix a microwave. I
Mhm.
remember that. And all of these stories, there's so many, everyone, there are so many great, gritty, powerful, real stories in this book that'll just make your eyes pop out and you go, wow. And just admire Jamie all the more because he got to the other side of this and now is inspiring so many other people. Uh, what's the most important message you want people to know about Unloaded from addiction, self-destruction to purpose? What do you want the addict who embraces this to feel while they're reading it, once they're done, and what do you hope will happen?
that it's possible, that this isn't hearsay and repeated stories, like this is a life experience, that when I tell people, when I relate to them, I believe the word miracles, and I believe miracles are not as scarce and infrequent as we're believed to be.
Right.
Well, I mean, we're all born of miracles. It's just amazing that the routes that we go through life, and it's possible. And I believe in the people I haven't even met, just because I know how corrupt and how empty my spirit and broken my spirit and the hole in the soul. Like
Yeah.
I know, and I've seen others around me.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not the only one. I know that this is a very possible walk, and the sky is, I mean, it's limitless.
It is. It is.
It's limitless.
You know, and you know, we've got, you know, about a minute and a half, and I think the thing that is so powerful is that you, like I, the one thing we both share is that everybody is here for a powerful purpose, and finding that purpose instead of filling those holes, right, can really make a difference, because that means you're impacting other people's lives. That means you're building a legacy of difference making. Talk a little bit about what you hope will happen. How, you know, that this will inspire other purpose-driven, difference-making people.
Well, and you know, very briefly, with the addicts and their families and all that, like the center of my bullseye, there's so many normal people that have
Right.
read this and said, this is a call of order.
Yeah.
This is an inspiration. This
Yes.
is for me to get up and finish the project, not fixing the gutter on your house project, like redirect my life.
Yeah.
And it's proof that anything is possible. If you do what you're supposed to do, have a support system.
Yeah. That's
Have a
huge.
parachute. If you're jumping out of an airplane, have a parachute. Have a backup plan. Go for it. And just believe in yourself. Believing in yourself, I've learned, is just absolutely the greatest superpower we have as human beings. So we doubt ourselves.
Oh,
On
yeah.
the title, we self-destroy, we
Yeah.
self-sabotage, and just have a positive mindset and just define and take over your world.
And believe, even when you don't believe in yourself.
That's it.
So thank you so much, Jamie Weatherly. JamieWeatherly.com. The book is Unloaded, from addiction, self-destruction to purpose. Thank you so much. What a pleasure it's been having you here.
Serving you back.